Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kibbetech. And I'm doing the intro today. So we're gonna start off with the machine shop today. And we actually...
So captivating.
Ryan didn't want to show you guys what we were doing last week, but here's a small glimpse of what we have here. So, another set of trolling arms, but these are pretty unique. They're for a good friend.
I don't know if we're allowed to say who it is.
For a good friend. We'll have to ask and we'll let you know once they're all done.
Yeah.
But basically, these are some pretty unique trolling arms. We have, not going to go into too many of the features and what they're doing, but one of the most unique parts is the length. These are pretty long, over 68 inches length. And the other unique thing about it is this is actually the top side, and the arrangement of...
Want to measure them?
Yeah, we'll measure them. The arrangement of the uniballs is a little unique too. What's that?
Yep, they are long.
They're long. Longest ones we've had.
Can't give that dimension away.
Being that they're pretty long, like all the other trolling arms that we do, we had to split it up in 2 operations because the throw of our machine is only 50 inches. So this is actually going to take us about 4 operations instead of 2 had we had a longer throw on the machine. But it's not too bad. You can actually see there is a small blend right here, and you can't feel it. It's a very, very small edge that shows.
Yeah, actually, you can like barely feel that.
Yeah.
You can't really feel it, but
by the
you
time,
can see it.
Yeah, by the time
more
it
than
gets
you can feel it.
hard anodized, you probably won't see that anyways. But overall, we're pretty happy with how we set it all up. We actually trued up the material before machining it to make sure that this blend was going to be perfect. And we basically just have to turn them around now, fixture them up, which is what we're doing now. We have some of the fixture, doing kind of some initial setups. And then once we have this guy bolted to this fixture plate down here, we can slide this primary fixture plate over and machine the other half. So another 2 more operations and then go from there. There's some other auxiliary items that get bolted to these holes, but like I said, we're not going to get too in depth on the features of the arm, but it is a pretty cool piece to look at. A lot of surfacing. This whole face is surfaced, so it did take a little bit of time to do that, but
yeah, because this whole surface right here is actually tapered. This isn't flat. You can barely tell, but it gets pretty thin down here at the bottom, so there's a whole taper to it. And then looking at it, you might think like usually we have our shock, would be there in the axle, but it's actually axle here and shock down there. So a little different setup.
yeah.
But
And it's going to get pretty thin down here. It's actually between these chamfers on the other side, it's only going to be about ½ inch thick, so it's going to be kind of like a knife edge or a wedge style trolling arm. Kind of unique, but we still kept all of the features that we would usually use on our arms, like the same style pockets and contours and tool paths. So it'll look really nice once it's all done, and be excited to show it all done, and maybe even put it side by side in comparison to our other trolling arms to actually see how big it actually is. So that'll be cool. You guys want to see? We have more spindles running on the UMC also.
yep,
Running the
more
last
spindles.
Today will probably be the last day on those guys, but all of the drivers are done. We got the passengers in the machine now. We got 2 more left to do. So that'll be pretty much it for that, and then we'll have some new footage on some new UMC things that we're going to be putting on here for some production items. That'll be pretty cool.
And we got yo-yos. We don't actually have them. Someone made them for us. But when was the last time you played with a yo-yo?
I don't know. The brain. In 3rd grade. Oh, wow. The only time he's ever done it too. He screwed up every time. That was all luck. So this guy's still running. He's still running its paces. It's been working pretty flawless, so just a little bit slow on the programming side of things with how much things we have going on. So he's all proofed out. So once we get the next part in, they're just loading parts from now on. So pretty much it. You can hit that B-roll.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's like the most fun. It's so easy. Nerd! Oh! It broke in half! It unscrewed itself.
You're doing it so good.
Yeah, I was just doing it so hard, it snapped in half. All right, so new tool Tuesday over here. We got this just got set up yesterday. The guys from Ameribrade hooked us up with this. Great guys over there, by the way. But yeah, this thing is freaking awesome. You can head over to their website or their Instagram or YouTube, and they have a whole breakdown of this thing. But I was looking for something new. I have the Radius Master and a Burr King, but we just needed something else to do some different things and just kind of running out of sanders for the amount of people. So guys are like standing in line waiting to use the other sanders. So I decided to get this thing. It's pretty much infinitely adjustable. Like I showed you, you can move it. You can run it horizontal, vertical. It's got a table for it. It's got a whole nother set of wheels and like a setup that goes in. So this whole thing will come off. Like you just, you know, pretty easy to like take this thing apart. That comes off. This whole thing comes out. You put the other setup in there. Pretty much do anything with it. So after using this thing for a day, I'm gonna sell the other two and get 2 more of these and just have 3 of these things lined up over here. But pretty awesome stuff. They, you know, supplied some belts with it. We had like a nice Scotch-Brite belt and trying a couple different things with that. But yeah, 10/10. Recommend this for any shop or anyone just, you know, working out of their house or garage or something like that. Pretty easy to set up. I mean, I've only had it for a day, so not expert at it just yet, but it's pretty self-explanatory how to use it. And it's got adjustable speed over here, so we'll start it off slow. Make sure we get good belt alignment. And then you can speed it up. Right now we're only about 12%. We all the way to 100%. It's pretty fast, but yeah, pretty cool tool. So nice thing about this is see this big angle right here. So the belt wraps around this wheel pretty tight, as opposed to like say the Radius Master over there, which we get like a big opening. So if you have like a deep notch in a tab you need to do, this starts hitting the outside of your tab. So this wheel right here really, really helps out a lot. And if you look on the back over here, we got wheels all the way down to 1/4 inch, which is pretty ridiculous, but you know, 1/4 inch up to 2 inch and 1/4 inch increments. So excited to be able to, you know, just tweak out on some little tabs with this thing and all the different radiuses that we need to do everything that we do here. So this is instantly everyone's new favorite one. So definitely need to get a couple more of them, at least 2 more, replace the other 2 machines. But yeah, go check them out at Ameribrade. All right, back on the ZR2. We got it back on this side of the shop. Let's see, we had a bunch of space over here. We need to do a bunch of work. Need to do a bunch of work to get the tire to clear at full bump. So we cut a lot of stuff out, and we're gonna actually end up putting the battery in the bed and changing a couple things up front. We're gonna build some inner fenders with it as well. But yeah, what are you working on right now?
Got to mount the reservoir for the supercharger, the air cleaner back in there. It's kind of in the same location it was. Then we also have a big custom, I don't know, fluid holder for the windshield wipers. Need those for sure.
Oh yeah, that tank.
It's huge, so we're gonna put it back over there somewhere. Now that the battery's not there, and fuse box. A bunch of stuff to shove back under here, but should be good.
So there you have it. All right, back on the OBS. Evan's buttoning up all the welding on all the parts that Chase built back here. Gonna get all of this stuff welded back up so we can get the fuel cell back in there. And yeah, next up will be tranny cooler up there, and then we're gonna run that big X in the chassis like we always do. Over here, that one's not warm. So you got some link pivots. So these are a lower 4-link pivot. Chase built these and Evan welded them up on the bench. So these will get welded to the chassis, and that's where the trailing arm will pivot from. This is driver's side, so the trailing arm will be coming out this way. And they kind of tie into the chassis. We'll just show you that. Look at that, it holds itself. So obviously not in place yet, but that thing kind of knocks onto that tube, and then it'll get welded to the tube all the way around, all the sides, and then to the frame, and then the bottom of the frame. And then we'll probably run a big gusset on it from here to here. Probably like a triangle style like we do on some of the other trucks. And then that'll be where the 4-link will pivot. And then up next after that, we'll do the upper link pivots. We already got those. I already got that all figured out where they need to be. And then we got the rear end out of it, and it's on the table, so we could tab out for the billet lower tabs. But yeah, Chase has got some more panels done in there. Doing pretty good.
What?
Show us what you've been doing.
So basically, getting all this situated so that way the link pockets can go in, and then once the link pockets are in, I can close off the rest of it. I've already got all these 3 panels done.
You just didn't put them in yet, so you could have somewhere to stand to do the rear panels. Square peg in the round hole there. Couldn't get them through?
No, I could, but the other panels were rusty hands. Not me.
Let's just cut you in half. There you go.
The ejectocito, cuz.
We just have one Chase in the way.
Jesus!
Oh, I love putting them on the spot like this. This is so fun. Ooh, look at that fitment in the rear.
Crispy.
Well, there you have it. And that's those 4 tabs back there for the 3rd seat. So this thing is a 3-seater. So pretty straightforward on the paneling. Once we get all that done, we'll get the cab all situated and then just start tying the cab into the chassis. But probably pull the cab off to finish some of these panels. Some of the welds are a little hard to get to. And then probably pull the cab off to finish shock mounts and finish setting up the 4-link. But coming along really good. Hopefully get this thing to a roller and pretty soon here. We got the trailing arms, rear end, we got all the shocks. Front's pretty much done. We could bolt wheels on it right now if we wanted to, but yeah, taking shape pretty quick. Really happy with it. Good job.
Thanks, Dad.
All right, small little update on the white truck over here. We got the PRP containment seats all mounted up in the rear. Did a cool tube and plate mount, and got everything all welded up, silicone bronzed in, and then the whole back firewall minus the outside corners is all welded up. So just trying to seal up all this back half and this floor and everything. And got these rear seats done. Next up, we'll do the front seats and then start getting some seatbelt bars and stuff in there. Came out super nice. These fit, like, we pretty much centered them right in this triangle right here. Keep it nice and safe. All the seat mounts are loose right now, so obviously they're just kind of flopping around, but you get the idea. 2 of these in the back and then the same 2 up front in a +1 measurement. So to be a nice, nice 4-seater for the family, nice and safe. Tell them what we're gonna look at next. Which one? Which one? This one? All right, update on the tube chassis. I got all the tube work up front is all welded out, double passed everything. Next up, just got to wrap up the bump mounts in the back, and then this thing is going to come off the table probably tomorrow. Pretty much it. You can check out some of the sweet welds, and then I, gave it a little dose of that Ego spray with the WD-40 and a rag, just keep it from rusting and whatnot. But yeah, really happy with how this all turned out. Got a couple more plates we're gonna change up in this area right here. Probably just hand make those to fill that in. This thing's pretty much done on the table. So next step would be seat mounts, because we have got all that stuff from Laser. Got some Sparkos on order, like full head containment and pretty legit race seat. Transmissions on the way, motors on the way. Yeah, so this thing will start taking shape a lot quicker when all those big ticket items start showing up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. All right, something cool that we've been had a little part in. These new Mechanics welding gloves. They're part of like the Torch line. You see me run Torchwear gloves for over 10 years now. So Paul from Torch actually is part of Mechanics now. So we've been helping him develop some new welding gloves, and they have the whole Torch line now. So they have these gloves and a couple other styles and some heat fingers and stuff like that. So this is kind of nice if you have this on, kind of add some heat resistance, so you could run your hand along something that's kind of warm without burning your hand. So from now until the 5th of May, Mechanics has a discount code, 25% on all their Torch line of gloves. So just on checkout, type in Kibbetech 25 and you get 25% off your order. So go check that out, and then we'll show you what we got going on over here in the corner. See Baja Bugs doing a nose wheelie now. We got that off the table, out of the way. We got a couple rear ends up here, doing a couple finalizing steps on them. This is the OBS rear end, so we got our center line figured out where we're gonna put our billet lower tab, so we're gonna get that on there, and then get this thing back under the truck with the trailing arms, and then move on to the shock mounts. Yeah, so our tube prep lathe, mill, lathe, and then over here, our new guy, Oscar over there, just in the corner, welding away on some of our Chevy 2500 coilover conversion lower arms. So right now we're doing 10 sets, and we got about 40 more sets on the way. So a lot of welding. So we cleared out this whole corner. This was kind of our junk drawer of a corner. Just had kind of everything kind of piled up in it. So cleared everything out, got him set up over here, ran another plug for the welder, so you could just stay over here. No one will distract him, and he can just stay focused on TIG welding up all these arms all day long. So a little different approach with TIG welding production arms, since nobody does that. But we are a TIG only shop, so that's what you get. TIG welded 4130 production parts. All right, so here's the chrome truck. We got the cab pulled off, and you'll see all these different points here. We've gone over it before. People still ask if the cage is just welded to the cab only, and it's not, because that would just be ridiculous. But you can see all the different points where it bolts onto the chassis. So the A-pillar, B-pillar, C-pillar. A and B-pillar have 4 bolts per mount per side. The C-pillar has 3 bolts per side. The down bars in the rear are tube clamped to the bed cage, and the engine cage tie-in right here has these two that tie in on the engine cage. So, and it still has the body mounts. So there's, I think I counted up like 40 different bolts in total to take this off of the chassis. So it ties in really, really good everywhere that we wanted it to. And yeah, like we explained before, just kind of build kind of changed throughout the time of the build, so it ended up with a cage, and the chassis was already powder coated, so it was kind of, going back and forth with getting it repowder coated and making it one piece, but we made it all bolt on. So it's also nice if you ever have an issue, we need to replace the cab. It'll be a little easier to do that. We'll go check out the chassis, because I don't think we've shown that before on our YouTube page. But here's the truck. Tubes tie in right here on the bed cage, and then here's the chassis. You can see a bunch of shiny stuff going on down here. Here's where the C-pillars bolt in right there, and it's got top 2 bolts and then a bolt on the side there. You see this powder coat too. It's a little dirty right now, but See, it's like a metal flake. So it's black with like a gold metal flake in it. It's like a gloss black with gold metal flake. Stainless exhaust, all ceramic coated. Skid plates are polished on inside and outside. There's another one that goes here. It's just not in right now. Transmissions, a 4L80 from Maximum Off-Road Transmissions, and that's also polished. We anodized the tail shaft, anodized the oil pan, all 12-point hardware on the mounts as well. Custom stainless headers that are also polished. Polished ARP 12 points on headers, bell housing, motor mount bolts. So yeah, lots of detail on this one with the like the polish and the stainless and the polished aluminum. But the owner of it wanted chrome, so that's why it's called the chrome truck. Chrome shocks, chrome arms, chrome rear end. A lot of details on this thing as far as different coatings, chroming and anodizing and polishing, and ceramic coating, and might even take the drive shaft out and get it chromed. Who knows? But yeah, so that's now that the cab is off of that, I'm going to plumb the transmission coolers, which are in the bed, and those are polished as well. And I'm going to plumb the dry sump system, which has also got the dry sump tank mounted in the bed over there. We're actually going to pull the motor and trans back out, send that motor to Maruzi, just to have them go through it, make sure everything's all good. It's you know, I had it sitting around for a few years and then sold it to this guy, and it's been sitting around for a while. So just have them go through it, double check everything, and then we're gonna pretty much put all stainless ARP bolts on the whole motor, and then probably change out some of these as well with some ARP stainless. Just really detail oriented on this build with everything. So it's even got chrome Innovate wheels with the beadlock bolts are also stainless ARP, so that's pretty cool. And then turn around here, we got the black truck. Got the bed sides off. I'm gonna put the rear coilovers back in, and I'm gonna get the exhaust finished to about this point, and then put the fenders back on, and then figure out where I wanna come through the fender with the exit. Gotta wrap up the intake, and then pretty much all the fabrication on this truck will be done at that point. We got to get the windows back in. Got window guy coming later in the week, get windows in it. We got the front clip all mounted and done, but it's all off right now because this whole section unbolts right here, so it's all getting powder coated right now. So we got all that off. I'm going to wrap up the power steering plumbing to the cooler here, and then the whole power steering system is done. But yeah, I think next step, once we get this bumper and this tilt forward structure back from powder coat, is going to take the whole truck to the body shop and have them do some body work and fill in some spots on the fiberglass, and then paint the whole clip and all that. And pretty much after that, it's off to the interior shop. But you'll see more of this in pretty much every week from now on. But yeah, there you have it. When you have a white shop dog, this is kind of what you do before you take them home.